Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, and now continuing with my countdown of reviews for my picks for the top 10 best animated DreamWorks movies. Now at number 2, I actually do have like another two-way tie in the number 2 spot. So, yeah, sorry that I like have had now like two things with like two-way ties for like a number in this countdown, but just that there are like just some films that are kind of like really hard for me to really say which ones are better. So I have to like put like two films in a certain spot just because it's hard to really rank which one is better because both are just equally so good. All right, but yeah, anyway, so here I am to review my first film in the number 2 spot, which is How to Train Your Dragon. So, yeah, when I first saw this film in the theater, I did think that this was an okay film. This really wasn't really one of my favorite films when I saw it in the theater. I just found it to be okay. But now after rewatching this movie, I've really seen that this film is really a lot better than I originally gave it credit for. I mean, this really is just like a really, really great film. I mean, I watched Nostalgia Critic's DreamWorks Aware review for this movie, and he says that this film really does have like a lot of elements that really have been used a lot of times and just really are hardly ever written very good. Like, there's like this film has like a bunch of elements like that where like it has like a geeky hero and a prejudiced parent, a hidden pet, and just a lot of other like elements like that. But yeah, in this film, like those elements actually are really well written, and yeah, this film is just really well written. I mean, the story for this film it is overall like a pretty simple story, really, but I mean, the way it's written, it's just like written like so well that it really does just make this a really great film. And yeah, this really is just like a really like outstanding film, really. I mean, yeah, this film was like released in like 3D, and I actually didn't see this film in 3D when I saw it in the theater. I just saw it in regular 2D, so that could probably be why I really like didn't really think that this film was like really like a great film when I saw it in the theater, just because I really just got the standard 2D experience when seeing this. But yeah, after like seeing this film again, even though like I didn't like rewatch it in 3D, it is like still like I've seen now like the shots that really are like that really would look great in 3D. And yeah, just yeah, the film just really is like really like well designed, and yeah, the CG just is really great. And yeah, just the story really is like really great. I mean, this film was directed by the same directors as Lilo and Stitch, and yeah, the story for Lilo and Stitch really was basically like the same story that this film has. And yeah, it is just like a really well written film. I just can't say that enough. I mean, the way this film is written, it just really makes it like really great. So yeah, I would give this film 3.75 stars out of 4. I mean, it really just is like probably one of DreamWorks' most like brilliantly written films ever. It is just like yeah, I mean, I've seen some people say this is DreamWorks' best film. While I really don't think it is definitely like up there. Like this is definitely one of DreamWorks' best works. It is just like an outstanding film. So yeah, I could probably like yeah, there's really not really like a whole lot I can really say. Just because I mean, just the stuff that I've said really do like sum this film up. It is just like a really well written film. I mean, it is like I said before, it really is kind of like a simple story, but just the way it's written, it really does make the film great. So yeah, let me just get right into it. So yeah, like I said, it's a very simple story for this film. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna skim through the plot of this film pretty quickly, just because I mean, yeah, there's really not a whole lot to talk about, just because like it's a really well written film. But yeah, very simple story. So yeah, let me just talk about the story. All right, so the film is set in like a remote Viking village, the Isle of Berk, and there are like dragons that are like stealing like livestock and stuff. Meanwhile, like there's one of the village's is Vikings, who's like the chieftain. His son Hiccup, um, he like wants to actually like join the Vikings and like fighting the dragons, but he's like too young and too small to actually join them. So Hiccup is just like fashioning up some devices under like the blacksmith of the village. It's his apprenticeship, yeah. And but it's showing that like a lot of the inventions that like Hiccup ends up like making, like they end up like backfiring on him and stuff, yeah. Yeah. And then like eventually like during an attack, like it seemed that Hiccup had actually shot down like a really rare dragon known as the Night Fury. Yeah. Yeah. And but Hiccup then just ended up like finding it in the forest, and he was like trapped up in like his bolas. And then yeah, Hiccup just saw that he really couldn't actually bring himself to kill the dragon, and he just ended up like setting the dragon free instead. Yeah, and yeah, Hiccup's father, Stoic, is that how it's said? He was then like making up a fleet to find the dragon, really, and yeah, Hiccup eventually like ended up like finding the Night Fury was still in the forest, and then yeah, Hiccup also like realized that the dragon really couldn't fly properly because of its caudal fin was like crippled. And yeah, Hiccup then like over time he ended up like training the dragon, and he eventually like named the dragon Toothless. This because of like the dragon's teeth were like really retractable. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, Hiccup eventually like made a harness and a prosthetic fin for Toothless, is for him to like guide the dragon in flight and stuff. Yeah, and eventually like it's showing that the fleet ended up like was unsuccessful in finding the nest, but then like Stoic then like saw like Hiccup had like some success also. Yeah, yeah, and it shows that like Hiccup like has a crush on this Viking girl Astrid, and yeah, she also eventually ended up discovering that Hiccup was actually training Toothless, and yeah, Hiccup ended up like taking Astrid for a ride on Toothless to show his relationship with Toothless before she was actually able to tell the village. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, Toothless then just ended up like taking Hiccup and Astrid to his the dragon's nest, and then they like found a gargantuan dragon, and that was known as the Red Death. And yeah, it's shown that the Red Death is like eating smaller dragons, but in order for like to stop Red Dragon from eating smaller dragons, the smaller dragons have to really bring the livestock to him. Yeah, and yeah, as then like Hiccup later on, like in the village, he like was right in front of his father. He was like subduing a dragon that was being held captive in his like last training test for the dragons. And yeah, and and then like as like Hiccup was like really like using the test on the dragon, Stoic like ended up like accidentally like angering the dragon again and causing the dragon to really attack. And yeah, Toothless was like trying to really protect Hiccup. But then, yeah, then, like, that resulted in the Vikings ending up capturing Hiccup. I mean, not Hiccup, Toothless. Yeah. And then that's when, like, Hiccup, like, just ended up really, like, blurting out to Stoic that Toothless can actually locate the dragon's nest. And then after that, that's really when just, like, Stoic ended up, like, disowning Toothless and set off to find the nest. And yeah, Toothless was just basically like chained up to lead the ship to the nest, yeah. And yeah, eventually like the Vikings ended up like expelling like a lot of the dragons, but then yeah, the Red Death like ended up like overwhelming them. But then yeah, Hiccup, Astrid, and other of their pupils ended up arriving, on the training dragons and stuff, yeah. And then yeah, they end up like helping them out of the predicament, and yeah, just end up like covering fire and stuff, yeah. And then at one point it showed them that Hiccup was like almost drowning, to try to protect Toothless. Well, yeah, he was trying to like set Toothless free from the ship that was sinking, and then yeah, Stoic ended up like saving both Toothless and Hiccup, and then yeah, he then reconciled with Hiccup, yeah. And eventually, yeah, Toothless and Hiccup ended up like destroying the Red Death, but yeah, that also ended up like injuring Hiccup, yeah. Yeah, and then yeah, once then Hiccup ended up like regaining consciousness, like it showed him that his like he lost his lower left leg, but then it was like replaced by a prosthetic, and then yeah, it then like just ended up showing that the Vikings and the dragons were now living in the harmony, and peace, and yeah, it then it just like ended. So yeah, yeah, the story for this film really is like pretty simple, but yeah, the elements in this film, like I said before, they're just like really so well written, and that it really just does make this movie really great. I mean, I wish I really would have gotten to see this in 3D, because yeah, this film probably would have like been like a much better experience seeing it in 3D. I mean, I agree with what Nostalgia Critic had said about this film before. Like, this film should really be re-released in 3D, so that people that did not get the chance to see it in 3D before will like get another chance to see it, because yeah, this film really does deserve to be seen in 3D, I think, because yeah, for me who didn't really get to see it in 3D, and I think like this would be a really great experience to see it in 3D. I mean, films like this and yeah, it's films like with this and like other films like Polar Express and the 2009 Christmas Carol movie. Like, some movies are just like really better when they're seen in 3D, because yeah, I've seen what Nostalgia Critic has really said about like films like that, and yeah, just the 3D effects when they're actually seen in 3D are like really well done. And yeah, just yeah, the flying scenes in this film, they really are just like, they already look like amazing enough seeing them in 2D, and just I can only imagine what it's like to actually see them in 3D. I mean, I can just hope that I will get the experience of maybe someday see this film in 3D. But yeah, just yeah, as I have seen it like in 2D, it still is like a pretty great film overall. Just a really well written and a really like well, great, a, like animated, and yeah, just overall a really great film overall. And yeah, definitely like one of DreamWorks' best works ever. So yeah, like I said, 3.75 stars out of 4. Yeah, definitely like a really great movie with like all those elements that really don't usually work, really do work in this film, just because like they're so well written. And yeah, this film is like definitely recommended if you haven't seen it before. Alright, so yeah, that's all I really have to say about it, really. So, yeah, alright, so that does it for my review of How to Train Your Dragon. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and yeah, I will talk about the sequel for this film before I make the review for my other film in the number 2 spot. So yeah, stay tuned for that coming up next. Yeah, I'll be talking about the sequel, then I'll continue with my review for the other movie in the top, in the number 2 spot. Alright, but anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, so yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.